What up, Nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake Nation Podcast. I believe this is episode 12. CK013 here, joined by a familiar face and Tom, aka Tommy Shake and Bake, better known as Tommy SB. Across the WiseTake Nation, you can find him on Twitter at kartracing_22. And we are joined by a very special guest who you can find not on Twitter, but on Instagram under a private account in which he will choose whether or not you can see his Instagram post. He will choose if you are worthy. Our boy Markos, aka Kos. You can find him on Instagram at Markos_Anthony if he approves, but only if he approves. Markos, what's happening, bro? I'm glad. And for those who don't know of the nation, Kos is he's just a personal friend of ours, man. Like, we're running out of shit to talk about. There's no sports. I know that's what we normally do. But I'm trying to stay connected with the nation, so decided to reach out and talk to a good, genuine friend of ours.
He's the man. He's not his friend. He's the man.
He's the man. He is.
Man with a plan.
Man with a plan. Good. I'm glad you have a plan, because somebody needs a plan here, and clearly it's not me and this guy. We don't have one.
Oh, I'm planning on playing this game until sports come back.
Yeah, I can see he's like that's full utter like coronavirus quarantine stimulation right there. Like that's when you're like you've been quarantined for so long in your house that you just like have figured out a way to constantly stimulate your brain. That's the only way that you can really keep yourself, I feel like sane, right, at home.
Yeah.
Like Kos, you're a family man. You're both family men, and like I guess you could say I'm a family man. Me and my wife have a dog now.
Patches.
We have a dog
Patches.
now. Patches. Shout out to Patches. What's happening? But you guys actually have like human beings you take care of. So, right? Like Kos, tell the nation a little bit about yourself.
So yeah, like you said, business owner and a proud dad of 4. So yeah, I mean, keeping busy during these times isn't any different than any other time when you got 4 people running around that's always wants to be kept busy, you know what I mean? So only difference is oldest is home all day because everybody's doing the virtual school.
And she's loving it, right?
Oh, she loves it. Yeah, she loves it. She's up by 8 o'clock and she's done with her schoolwork by like 11:30, 12 o'clock. And she gets all day.
Yo, that's going to save you so much money when college comes.
Yeah. Right?
Just have to do online school at like Harvard. Harvard online.
Tom.
Well, actually, I went to college online and I finished in 3 years because I just banged it out. So the fact that she's going to school online is kind of just history.
No, it's true. I mean, even my wife is she's about to have a master's degree in a matter of doing online classes in a matter. I think it's like one class every 6 weeks or something, and she's gonna have a master's degree. And I don't even know. It feels like it hasn't been that long, but I think it's been like 3-4 years or something. She's gonna have a master's degree. Crazy, like from from associates to masters, just like that. And you're right. It's through the wave of the online. I remember, Markos, when you were in college, and I remember when obviously in our age, other people around our age group going to school and everything like that. And like you said, 3 years, you had a bachelor's degree. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, dude. I remember going to parties and I had my laptop with me. I was like, yo, I got to at least finish this homework assignment before I can even have a drink.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you were obviously disciplined, but you didn't have like and none of us did, right? Tom, you went straight into the military. I went to community college right out of high school and kind of went that route, but none of us had the privilege, I guess you could say, of going to a dorm and having that traditional college experience, living on campus. And well, I guess you kind of did, right?
I just had it. I had it turned up when you lived at the barracks, man.
Yeah.
You think?
No, you had it. You did.
You think dorm life is crazy, bro?
You did. No. Absolutely. You had your own experience, of course.
It's the same, but it's the same, but not the same for sure.
Yeah, except these guys graduate, they get diplomas, and hopefully a job. You get sent to war. that was the return.
I get hurt.
Yeah, that was the return, and definitely. And but just like. I mean, shit, what were we just talking about? How did we get there?
We talk about family, and we was talking about owning his own business. What we were at earlier.
That's very general. I appreciate that you were listening, but it's very, very general.
Trying to
Like,
get back.
not specific whatsoever. You don't remember what we were talking about either, which makes me feel a little bit better. Costa, you remember exactly where did we go? Oh, we were talking about the online schooling. Talking about the online
Yes.
schooling.
There you go.
And so I was saying that, like, you got your degree in the 3 years, and none of us were the type to go to like a traditional school, and neither was my wife. She working full time for the last X amount of years while she got both her degrees, her bachelor's and master's. So different experiences, obviously, than some of the kids, and you know, doing that kind of thing. But it's like the online schooling. I mean, it just seems so much more convenient in every aspect, even from the schools themselves. As far as like them saving money, not having the overhead of having these massive campuses for no reason, and then on top of that, you're cutting a part out of these kids' lives that, whether it be good or bad, and obviously it's not all like it's not all bad stuff that they do, parties and all that kind of stuff, because you want these kids, they got to grow up at some point, they got to get these experiences. And you see people who are like way too sheltered, and then when they're unleashed into the world, they kind of do everything at once, and or they don't know how to do certain things, or they don't have certain manners in certain situations, you know, because you want people to experience things, these college kids who go in these dorms and all these other things. But at the same time, it's like, you don't need it as far as the education. If I could pay less money and my kid could just stay at home and, you know, go to school online and get an education, get a degree with less distractions, it just seems more practical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
It definitely does, but it's definitely not for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not. You got to be a certain individual to be able to teach yourself, stay disciplined, still get the work done instead of just putting it off, wait until the end of the week and just kind of winging it. So I get the need for an actual school, but people who don't like school, like me, for instance, I never saw the need for school.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
The
I'd
ones
be in
who,
high school, and I didn't not like high school because I didn't like high school, but there wasn't no need for me to be there when I already knew everything they were teaching me.
right.
Not that I'm like this wise, all-knowing person, but I was the type of kid that if I wanted to know something, I taught myself and I just figured it out.
Right.
You know, we have technology, we have the internet, so the information's out there. It's just whether or not you want to learn it.
No, exactly.
A history class for me was the waste of time because it didn't interest me.
No,
You know?
Yeah, what is it? And what's that got to do with a business degree? Like, why do I need to know like history for a bit, like a business degree?
You got to know basics, but you don't got to know everything
Well,
that they teach you in the curriculums.
Not for nothing, but like everything that you could learn in a school, hypothetically, at this day and age, you could probably find somewhere online yourself. I mean, you have to work.
Absolutely.
You might have to dig. You might have to know where to look. Maybe it's not as easy as typing in exactly like, you know, college class such and such 103, you know, whatever lectures. But the information itself, if you knew what they were covering, if you knew what the curriculum, you could probably find a lot of that shit yourself these days. Right? I mean, honestly, like, if you just dig hard enough. I mean, and it's interesting going back to what you were talking about. You know, being homes or doing school from home is not for everyone. First off, Tom, I know that the schools are obviously shut down. We all live in New Jersey, and the schools are shut down. Over here, is he's doing online also? Your son?
Yeah, no, it's crazy because there's teachers that are like, okay, so it's online school day, you know, so they'll give him all the assignments you would have had as like classwork as well, you know, so he's doing like 2 hours in some classes and an hour in others, so he's doing his homework from like 9 o'clock in the morning until like 1:30, 2 o'clock. It's almost a full school day for him.
That's it.
But yeah, he is, and then you know, baby girl's got 2 like circle times with her teacher at the you know, the preschool.
What are they doing with her?
Yeah, they like sit down, they'll do like the Pledge of Allegiance like they would in the beginning of class or whatever, and then you know, they'll have like a fun activity. One of the dads dressed up or something the other day.
What?
You know, as Blippi.
What? No way, bro. They probably
for
went
like
ape
10
shit.
minutes, yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
the kids loved it.
They
yeah.
probably went ape shit. Blippi?
That's dope.
You don't mess with
Yeah.
Blippi, man. You cannot touch Blippi. You do not touch him. Yeah. Attack of the Leprechauns. That's what it is.
Yeah, man.
Revenge of the Leprechauns. Something. I don't know. I messed that up. Anyway, But here's the question, Markos. Now you and me work from home, right? We both are entrepreneurs. I own the WiseTake Nation. You have your hands in a couple different things, hands and feet into a couple different things. But and not to mention, like you said, you got 4 beautiful kids, and so you obviously went to school online, so you were already on the whole I gotta motivate myself at home. So like that was a mentality you had already, and I'm comfortable doing it too. I'm not that I'm antisocial, but you guys know me pretty well, and I am pretty antisocial, right? I don't like being around a ton of people. like the quarantine thing. Obviously, I hate the fact that the country is going through this. The world, I should say, is going through this. I hate that. It's terrible, and like I'm a humanitarian enough to where I don't wish any harm on other people. I just don't want other people around me. That's not like social distancing. That's my thing. You know what I mean? Like that's like that's my everyday. That's just like, that's the first thing in my own personal Bible. My 10 commandments, one of them is social distancing at all times. And that was not about catching viruses, just me about wanting personal space from people. But because of that, working from home was a fit for me, right? Like I've done the thing, worked at banks, I've been in sales, all kinds of cool jobs, and where the money was even decent, but working from home just kind of fit for me better. Like I prefer to give myself structure rather than rely on others to provide me that structure, and me accomplishing my goals. I prefer to have it in my hands. Same thing with you and Tom. Even right now, because of the quarantine, you're getting a chance to work from home, and you've had many different jobs, from the army, jobs in the army, and obviously before that, and then of course after that in your career now, and you're getting the opportunity to work from home now. So like you said, Marco, some people, like, it's not made for everyone. Some people can do it, some people can't. But you see your kids, his kids, they're all being forced to do it, and they have different ways to do it, right? So can you groom the kid to be that kind of person and to be able to work from home and handle that? Like that's something they can like alter. You know what I'm saying? Because they can control that. If they just flip the switch, survival of the fittest. So there's going to be some kids who they've already missed out on developing those tools and those abilities to have the discipline to do that, or they need the social. They need to get out for social purposes. Some people are very social, and that's fine. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you see what I'm going with this? Like we say, it's not for everyone. But what if they can make it for everyone?
I see what you're saying.
Like after like 2 or 3 generations of this, it's gonna be like weird to have somebody who doesn't do this. Like the guy that wants to go out is gonna be the weirdo.
I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and he was saying how it's weird because they're letting everybody work from home, and how it's kind of a scene out of a movie, and how it's nothing that no one's ever seen before. But at the end of the day, when were we as a nation or we as a world ever able to work from home? You know, we didn't have the technology back in the day when we were kids that our parents could be working from home the way that we work from home and run a business and run a successful business. Back in the day, if you told someone you were an entrepreneur, they were like, damn, bro, you broke and jobless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
now you tell someone you're an entrepreneur, and they're like, oh, damn, that's what's up. What do you do? What kind of business are you into? What kind of ventures are you interested in?
Right.
You know, so yeah, you can definitely groom kids so that, you know, a couple of generations go by and they're doing school 100% online. But that's like our grandparents that can and can't use computers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A couple generations go by and then it's just the new norm.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, I mean, obviously one thing people keep talking about are that all these companies who, and there are some companies who can't, right? Like there are some people that have to go into work right now, and that sucks. But for the people who don't normally get to work from home, people like Tom, for instance, and Tom probably, you know, what sucks for your situation is we're going through a crisis, so you're probably not able to get a whole ton of your main job done because you're dealing with a different aspect of your job.
All disaster mitigation.
Yes. So it's not even fair for them to you know, grade your performance, and obviously they're not. We know the deal with that, but just in general, like, I think other companies though are going to realize that people are more efficient at home in this day and age. And they're going to realize that, like, man, what am I paying for all these offices? Like, these people have apartments. Like, I would rather, it'd probably be cheaper for me to rent out a little space in there, you know, to pay them for their home office or whatever, than have this ginormous lease. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if that became a thing.
Oh, for sure.
Know what I mean, like, because they have no problem making people adapt, right? Like you was talking, like, my grandmother does not know how to use a computer. Like she's I mean, she, you know, God bless her soul, she does not know how to use no computer. But when she worked in a hospital in New York City, in Brooklyn. When she did work, she like had to type. She had to do data entry, right? Push it into computers. Mm-hmm. Yo, she was one of the fastest typers in the world. She didn't know shit about computers itself, but she could type. You know what I mean? Just not, you know, it's just craziness.
Yeah.
So it's like that they could flip that switch, and the people who are in the jobs now that can adapt can figure out how to adapt to maintain their job. And if not, survival of the fittest, you're gone, right? And then other than that, it's gonna be the new generation who like knows what else to do with it, right? Like you give my grandmother a keyboard, tell her to type, she can do that. But then you hire somebody younger who's gone through the system and went through schooling with the technology, and they're gonna show you what you do with the rest of the machine, like and actually like use the machine to the fullest potential.
You know how many teachers are struggling right now because they're not used to having a teacher virtually?
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine. That's a great point, man. Like even figuring out Skype, like you didn't have Skype. I told you we're gonna do a podcast, do something different. I asked you to come on the show. Told you to get Skype. Took you 5-10 minutes to figure that shit out, right? But I've had people on DFS shows, daily fantasy sports shows, which we normally do, who are or maybe a little older or maybe just aren't great with technology because they never. And bro, like we've had to cancel their appearances that they look forward to, and I felt bad. Like, oh, I'm sorry, man. We need this to happen. Like, you know, like I can't explain to you how to fix it. But that's a really good point, man. I didn't even think about that. Especially teachers. You got teachers who have been doing this for like 20 some years or whatever, and you know they have no idea. Like people barely even know how to answer a phone call. You know what I mean? That's wild. That's wild.
It's crazy times, bro. It's crazy times.
So like, have
it's
you guys?
Future.
It is. And you know, that's what's interesting is like, where do we go from here? So say the coronavirus, you know, God willing, everybody's doing what they're doing to, you know, everybody in the hospitals and the doctors and everybody. And those are the true heroes right now, right? Like at this moment, the world is at war, but it's not the army that's fighting. It's our medical team that's fighting, right? Every single day, keep people alive, keep things going. And so it's very much like war. I remember when I was young, and Tom, you've been to war. You know, you were a soldier. You went and fought for the country. And I remember growing up, I was a military brat. Grew up on army bases. I remember when my father was sent to Iraq for the first time, and I remember like it's eerily similar feelings, right? Like you know, Tom, our mother-in-law works at the emergency room, so she's going right into the belly of the beast, and they're every day being around these coronavirus patients. And she's considered high risk herself, and you know, so it's extremely scary, and so it's eerily similar to the feelings like that I have, and I'm sure that our wives have, and all that kind of stuff. It's eerily similar to when my dad got sent to Iraq. It is. It's a war. You don't want them catching it. You know, it's dangerous as hell. Expect. Right. Like, you just don't know what to expect.
There's a good chance everything's going to be okay, but there's that chance that something horrible could happen.
Oh, there's always the chance. But at the end of the day, you know that they're doing it because that's what they signed up for. And it's the same thing with you. Obviously, you didn't want to go to war, Tom. But at the end of the day, this is what you signed up for, and you were going to do what you had to do. And so anytime a war happens, things usually change, right? And maybe not even a war, but it's just a catastrophic event. 9/11 happened, things changed, right? The airport got a whole lot more strict, and it became a lot more difficult. With the Patriot Act came out, a whole bunch of shit changed. So after this is over, how far does the change go? Like, do we still greet people with handshakes? Remember our boy Wally, we were talking to him. He was talking about. He goes, "Why are we still greeting each other like cavemen? Like we're barbaric animals who can't communicate verbally? I gotta shake your hand when I greet." And don't get me wrong, bro. Like we all dap it up when we see each other and we do things. Markos, we've had handshakes over the years. Tom, me and your son have a handshake. We do all the kind of stuff. I'm all about it with my people that I know, people that I love, people that are in my life. Yeah. But people that I don't know, I always felt uncomfortable myself with having to shake people's hands, and I do it because that's just a society thing. Like even my pro wrestling days, like you know, you do what's called the gimmick handshake. But in pro wrestling, in these ethics, you have to go into the locker room, you shake everybody's hand, otherwise you're considered a dick, and nobody wants to be the dick. You know what I mean? You're working with people, you don't want to be the dick. So it's something
you
that
get
we do
for real.
It's something that we do whenever we go anywhere, right? And like I said, when I see Markos, I'm gonna give Markos a handshake. I'm gonna just dap him up, give him a little hug. What's up? You know, we're always excited when we get to see each other because people got lives and shit, and we don't get to see each other as often as we probably normally like. But like somebody I don't know comes up the street, "Hey, what's up? My name is such and such," and they reach their hand out, and now it's instinctual to shake their hand back. But does that change? Are we gonna see more people like when I was wrestling? I had this one wrestling promoter who never shook anybody's hand. And this is an industry where if you don't shake people's hands, people get all weird. But he would always be like, nah, man, I don't want to catch the flu, bro. And give me a pound. Not just me, everybody. He wouldn't shake nobody's hand. Always gave the pound no matter what. And like, now I'm thinking that guy's a fucking genius. Because at the time,
he probably ain't never got the flu.
At the time, I thought he was crazy.
Living in the future.
That's it. Then now he predicted. He's like, no, the one downfall that could happen to this thing is, you know, and obviously the coronavirus is affecting all of us as far as like finances, work, everything, like personally, professionally, it's affecting all of us. And like, you know, we may make jokes here or there, but all we can do is laugh at a time like this. When you just got to sit back and worry about what you can control. But you know, like for instance, my business is all about sports, right? Without no sports, my business does not run. We paused all of our memberships. We're not charging nobody. I'm not screwing, you know, our members just because things, you know, went down different ways. So we're gonna make sure everybody gets, you know, what they paid for when sports resume and all that stuff. So basically, literally shut down my main source of personal income, my business completely for this thing. And Markos, obviously, you having one more kid at home and in combination with everything else that you've gone through, I'm sure you're feeling effects of it also. Tom is, again, in a job where it requires him to be out and working, traveling, and doing what he's got to do. He can't do that now. He's bound here having different goals. So it is like, you know, we're all in a weird, different situation. But what happens when the situation opens up? Like, what is going to change? Is it the greetings? Are people gonna, you know, are people not gonna want to? I mean, I don't even know, like what you do, but maybe we were talking about maybe more companies realize, you know what, it'd be a lot more cost effective if I had people work at home, because now if this situation happens again, they're already home, and they can just keep working. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm wondering, like I'm
work harder.
Yeah. Now exactly, and I'm gonna save money so that I don't have to keep paying this damn rent. You know. When I have nobody using it.
The only thing I think will change if everything pans out is everything that you didn't appreciate, you appreciate a little bit more. You know what I mean? People who wanted to work from home, who's now working from home, and they're like, yo, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. They're probably going to love going back into work, sitting in that bus, waiting on that commute, kids going back into the classrooms, significant others finally getting their space from the other significant other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Hey, everybody's in a different boat. But
there's gonna be a ton of babies and a ton of divorces after this, man.
a ton of babies.
You might appreciate that handshake a little bit more, or you might turn that handshake down if you know what I mean. Everybody's gonna be a little bit different.
Yeah,
it's true.
I think the social distancing backlash is gonna be long and. You know, it's gonna be a very long time. Like I don't think, like you said, I think long. It's You're looking at least like 7 months, 7 years, something.
Hell yeah. 7 months, 7 years, same difference.
Same difference. It's gonna be. I mean, and again, like the reason that I'm not trying to speak too much on like a propaganda. I'm not trying to speak no propaganda. I'm somebody who never really liked the touching thing. When I moved to Jersey, right? Like when you greet like everybody like. Everybody was, it's weird because I lived in the South and the Southeast. I lived in Georgia. I lived in Texas. I lived in Germany. I lived all over the place. And there's without no doubt in my mind, and I've lived in New Jersey the longest, right? I moved here since I'm 16, 17 years old. And there's no doubt in my mind, the rudest people in the country are here. Like naturally, I don't mean rude like they won't help you if you need help. They'll help you. Like it's not like we're good people up here. When I say rude, when I walk into it, right. When I walk into a store in like Georgia, right? I walk into the store, and if there's anybody in my view, they are looking at me and saying hello. Oh, hey. Oh, hello. How you doing? Anything, right? You know what I'm saying? In New Jersey, God forbid you look if somebody's in your path. Like God forbid you look at them. It's like dogs in a kennel. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck you.
God forbid you sneeze on somebody in a grocery store.
Oh my God!
And say you have the Rona, and you get arrested.
That guy was such a dick. Like,
yeah.
Yo, honestly, you gotta have thick skin. If you don't got thick skin, you ain't built for it.
No. Of course, yeah, you know, absolutely. And you can see my skin's not too thick right now. I'm washing my hands so damn much. Bro, I've been washing my hands so damn much. I'm getting like
so
rashes
much,
and shit.
bro. My shit's cracking.
Me too.
Yeah, it's hurting. And Patches ain't helping with his claws, man. He's not helping. Giving me new ones every day. But you know, to your point, Markos, I do agree that I think people are gonna appreciate things more. You know, like I, for instance, will appreciate sports more. I don't know if that was possible. Sports has gotten me through a lot in life. but I think I will find a new way to appreciate it. But the little things, like, this is going to sound very, like, first world-ish, and I don't give a damn, but, like, my wife and I have been eating at home a lot, which we don't normally do. It's just me and her. Like I said, we got the dog now, but it's just me and her. So sometimes going through the process of cooking and going through all these things, it ends up costing more than just buying a meal for the two of us. But you know what I mean? It's one thing when you have a family, but we don't eat X, Y, Z. It goes to waste. So buy in bulk, okay, we buy in bulk, but we don't eat it in time because there's only two of us. You know what I'm saying? And then we end up throwing a lot of the shit out. So we did eat out a lot, and for the last like 2 weeks we've just been cooking every single day because we're reluctant to eat out. I don't know how you guys feel about it. We haven't eaten out at all. I'm talking like I haven't had my pizza, bro. I love my pizza, and then I've had some frozen pizza from the grocery store, but I haven't had my shit. You know, we have really good pizza here, really, really good. It's my little Trump impression. Really good. I can't do Trump. I don't know. I see other people do it and they nail it. And
really good.
I'm pretty good at impressions usually. I can't do his, but I love when people do it. It's just fucking hysterical to me when people do it because I don't know. And I'm getting on a tangent. Coast, are you guys eating out? Or are you just like, nah, we're getting everything from the grocery store and cooking?
Honestly, we haven't eaten out, not really once since this whole thing kind of went on lockdown.
You're in the same boat as us. So.
Yeah.
So,
but that's not because we don't want to. We're home. We're both home.
Right.
So, I mean, we're always home, but now it's like, all right, well,
we
got one more mouth to feed. So that extra meal does cost a little bit more. It makes that bill go from like $70 to like $90, $100.
Wow.
You know, as a family of four, it's much cheaper to cook at home than it is for us to eat out.
Absolutely.
I'm spending $50, $60, $70 every time we eat out, and you know, we had a steak with like a pineapple glaze on it. It was amazing, nice. And I think it cost us like $20 to feed all four of us.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So yeah. See, if you were buying just 2 quick meals, it's like, yeah, you eat a sandwich and then you still got a little left over for later. You know what I'm saying? And it really covers you for like 2 meals, so you end up spending much less.
So you guys are doing it because it financially makes sense. It's economical.
Yeah. I've been cooking like crazy.
I've been cooking
like financially too, makes sense, and it's just fun. It tastes so much better, bro. I made buffalo wings for the first time the other day at home, and when they come straight out of that fryer and you throw your sauce on it and then you eat it, it just tastes that much better than when you go to a restaurant.
Man, I've been cooking too, bro. I made chicken parm the other day. I've been breaking it out, nice. Man. Been cooking all week. I did get sick of that shit. Today, I was like, I don't feel like cooking shit today. I did get sick of it. I'm not gonna lie. I passed the McDonald's in the car, and I had never wanted McDonald's so bad before. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't even eat McDonald's like that. But going back to what you were saying about appreciating the little things, I think it was more I was hungry, and I missed the convenience of being able to stop somewhere and just grab something quick to eat. Rather than me driving like, all right, I'm starving, but I gotta go home and now I gotta take this shit out and I gotta preheat the oven and now, you know what I'm saying? Like that process, that process sucks.
And I don't use microwave, so anything that I cook that's like leftovers is
it's like recooking it again.
Toaster or sitting in the oven because I'm not putting it in the microwave, or I'm gonna just eat it cold. Fuck it.
I know that's a thing that you and our boy Miran do too, right? He's like that with the microwave too, right? I think I've heard him talk about that too. What's the deal with the microwave thing? Is that the radioactive waves in the food, or you know what I'm saying?
Honestly, for me, it's just the taste.
It just tastes like shit.
For me, personally, I just don't.
I keep thinking there's some more complex reasoning, and he's like, no, it just tastes like shit. I'm like, oh.
Nah, yeah, it just tastes like shit, bro. I mean, there's a whole bunch of crap going on saying that it's bad for you and that it kills the enzymes. But I mean, really and truly, so does cooking your food. But
right.
We won't talk about that neither.
That's true.
So it's not, for me personally, it's just the fact of the matter that it just tastes worse.
Have you been to any like stores recently? Like.
Yeah, I went to Whole Foods the other day.
Yeah.
Went to Acme today.
Was anything weird? You went to Acme?
Yeah, I had to get that children Tylenol. Everywhere else was sold out.
No shit. Oh wow.
Yeah, bro. Acme had it for the win.
Wow, for the win. I like it.
Everybody forget they got a pharmacy inside there, but.
I mean, shit. Yeah, that Acme. You went to the one in by me, right?
By us.
Oh, by you. There's one by you.
Yeah, there's one right down the street from me.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. How that?
You go back. Shit. You just gotta head up a little bit further north.
Yep.
That's right there.
Right before the wall.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that, man. I thought you was talking all the way down by my turf. I was like, shit, you come to my territory. That is a hike, yes.
That's a hike with some Tylenol.
Oh yeah, it's a hike, but you know,
I try to stay away from that side of town.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
But now the stores honestly haven't been that bad. We went to Costco the other day and it was pretty easy, simple. There ain't no shortages. There's no lack of food. I mean, granted, it depends on when you go.
Do you see?
But just don't be an asshole.
Did you see a lot of people with gloves and masks?
You see a bunch of idiots out with gloves and masks.
We went to me and Tom went to Home Depot because they had a refrigerator that's normally $3,600, bro. Right?
How much?
It's normally $3,600. Got that shit for $800. You know
Shut the fuck up.
$800, man.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law was there. She called us. She was like, "Yo,
man,
you need one?" And I was just like, "What? Holla at a pimp when you see him in the streets." What's that?
How though? How?
It was like the display thing. It was like the display thing, and it was like Corona Mania. I don't know, panic. I don't know.
That's the win. That's better than Black Friday.
Oh yeah. And my wife is like, she's obviously being very cautious because the coronavirus. I mean, we make jokes. We don't take it lightly. We obviously are doing the social distancing thing and doing everything that we have to do our part. But it was like we went to Home Depot. They're only letting 2 people in at a time. Like there's a line outside.
Yeah, they're counting.
Yeah, that's it. Which is I have no problem with. I have no problem with. I mean, there's a whole other thing we can get into.
I have no problem with it neither, but when I'm standing in line, don't be crowding up on me, B.
Yes. No, that's the thing. And I can see it was funny because I was standing next to Tom. And I know that Tom has been quarantining because Tom is having to work from home and he's got a house full of kids like you. So I already know that he's not going out there running around getting himself exposed to nothing. Tom knows that I'm not going nowhere because I always work from home. I don't go nowhere. So unless I go to the gym, which I have not been, and I know you haven't been either, because they're all closed anyway. So I'm not so worried about standing next to Tom. I stand next to Tom because I know he hasn't really been anywhere I haven't been. And the same thing with you in that scenario, Coase. However, we go to Home Depot, and I think I was standing next to him, and everybody else was kind of like standing, people in front of us and behind us were a distance, and I can see people were looking at us like they were like it was weird, like they were like, oh man, they're next to each other, man, they're gonna get sick.
You trying to get me shot, CK?
What's that?
You're trying to get me shot, man. Amy's gonna be listening to this and see like you're standing next to you. No 6 feet. Like, yeah,
that's true.
Well, I'm done. Thanks. Yeah, I'm done.
That's true. Yeah, I would offer to edit that out, but it's a pain in the ass to really edit these shit. So
yeah, don't edit it. It's fine. My fate is sealed.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we laugh because that's all we can do. Obviously, it's a scary fucking thing. It really is, man. It's a scary thing, and especially for the people that do have to go out and work out there. Aside from the hospital people who are obviously like just the real heroes right now, it's obviously scary and terrifying. But for other people, like Home Depot people, they got to work. That dude hooked me up, man. It was an old man too, an old man there. He was real cool. Helped carted it out there. Talk about high risk. This dude looked like he was what would you think, Tom, in his 70s or some shit? 70s, 80s?
Late 60s, early 70s for sure.
He was old, man. And he was moving and grooving. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the guy. I'm just saying that people, he's out there working. And if it wasn't for him, I wasn't getting this fridge for $800. Like listen, you laugh about it, but it's true. He's out there doing his thing. So I appreciate that because obviously, like, people need to get things. And listen, did I need to get the refrigerator at that time? No. But did Home Depot need to be open to tempt me with that deal? No. If you're open, if you're open, people are gonna go, right? They could have just closed, and I would have been content without getting a refrigerator today. You know what I mean? I'd been like, hey, whatever, they're closed. What am I gonna do? They open, and it puts you in a weird position. Like even for me, for my business, obviously, it'd be great for me if sports start back up soon. Because then my business will start back up and I start making money. I have something to do every day, which is great. Everything's wonderful. However, that also means that, maybe that like, my wife or anybody, people have to go back to the workplace and more people have to be at risk. Because like, think about it. There are people who are complaining, talking about you're putting my life at risk. Like, you go to a grocery store, right? These people at the grocery store, they're not making much. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really not. And so they're sitting here like, so am I going to get paid more? Now that you're going to have me like risk my health and be at this place with all these people coming in?
Some places are.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, I mean, I would feel the same way. And it's the same thing. Like and some companies have done right by their employees, but there's other companies who've done layoffs and have not done right. Or it's not that they don't want to. They just can't afford it as a company, right? Like, a big, huge, monstrous corporation can afford to take care of their employees a little bit. A smaller one that's on the cusp, maybe not so much, and it's affecting everyone. Unemployment rates, everything's skyrocketing. Like, everything's a mess, right? Everything's just a mess. But Home Depot's open, and that old dude was at that fucking store. You know what I'm saying? Doing what he has to do. Yeah. He had gloves on. He didn't have no mask on. He had gloves on. Doing what he has to do.
And he's sitting there tilting the fridge back, everything.
And like you can't look at a guy and feel like you don't even have to be working this guy probably. Yeah. Right? Maybe he does because,
He probably, if he's there, bro, he definitely has to be working.
No, true. That's a good point. But you know how it is, though. There's some, bro, when shit first started going down with this stuff, like heavy around here, when shit first started going down, I went to the corner store because I had to get something for my I had to get some papers for my medication, if you know what I'm saying. So I went to the corner store.
It's essential.
Yes, it's essential. It is essential. I went to the corner store. You know who the only people in the store were? Was the elderly. It was the only other people in the store with me. It was just me and a bunch of elderly. And I'm sitting here like, you guys are high risk. And they're probably looking at me like I'm the devil because I'm younger and I'm moving around on their turf. But then I went to Acme like a couple of days later. I had to get some groceries real quick. I go in there. Once again, it's just the old people. And like I understand it because they can't get a bunch of shit at once. They have to get shit little by little. They can't carry that shit in. You know what I mean? Like you see my point. Not all of them, but you see I'm not trying to stereotype, but you know what I'm saying. And so I remember thinking like, bro, like this is a time you guys are the most vulnerable. Why are you out? Like why are you out and about moving? You know what I'm saying? Like you should be at home, like calling somebody my age to go get something for you.
The thing is that a lot of people are already at work, so they don't realize that those are the time that old people are already out.
They're doing their thing. That's right.
During the day. Yeah.
That's their 8 p.m. That's their 8 p.m.
So it's a regular thing for them. Yeah. They're looking at everybody else and they're like, yo, what are you doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing here? This is my turf. This is my time right here.
Yeah, it's my time.
It's true. That is true. Interesting.
Yeah, they're like, yo, nobody was bothering me before. Where'd you come from?
Yeah, man. Like, I don't give a damn about this coronavirus. Who are you? And why are you in my store right now? This is my aisle right here. You know? From hours, I don't know, fucking like 10 to 11, aisle 7 is mine, bitch. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it right Wednesday. There. That's it. Monday through Wednesday. Let's go. It makes a lot more sense.
Damn youngins.
I do think that, I am curious though to see how things turn out. Like obviously hoping everything works out for the best, but how do people act and for how long? Because like this, we are as a people, as a world population of civilized people, we do like change when things like this happen, but it's not always permanent, right? Like when 9/11 happened, everybody was like, "Oh hell yeah, check everybody, stop everybody." Oh hell yeah. Then after about a year, it was like, you know what? I'm getting real sick of taking my shoes off at this damn airport. You know what I mean? This is getting ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, if there is a change, for how long? Have either of you seen the movie WALL-E?
I love that movie.
I fall asleep every time.
Coast.
Bad WALL-E.
WALL-E.
You seen it?
I fell asleep.
Oh, you fell asleep.
I see parts of it.
So, but you know the general concept, how like the people are living in that thing. They're not really living. They're just sitting in the chairs, and it's just like rotating. That's how they're living their life. You know what I mean? It's like
I didn't see that. I thought it was about trash and unpopulated Earth.
Well, now I better.
He's like, why am I watching a movie about
Tom?
trash?
Am I talking about the right movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, WALL-E's the little bot that pulls the trash into his stomach and makes a box out of it.
Yes.
And then stacks it up because he was trying to clean it. He was like the only one left. It was like a couple hundred years.
I'm saying the point that I'm making though about like that was the one where the people
on the ship.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you missed in that movie, Coast, is these people are on a ship and it's not like a conveyor belt and they're sitting on these cushy ass comfortable chairs and they're eating food and they're just watching everything's virtual reality. So their vacation, their cruise is all virtual reality. They're just sitting in one spot. You know what I mean? And like, this is like another step towards that.
That's what we're going towards.
Yes, that's my conspiracy.
With AI and all that.
That's my conspiracy theory.
That we're going towards.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where we're going. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I don't care how Markos acts because in a few years, I'm going to have my own Markos in my own virtual reality and I'm going to decide how he acts in the virtual reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like I'm sitting here playing this simulator and I wish it was VR. Like, it's the VR simulators are crazy. We did that the other day, Markos. It was crazy.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. but I almost threw up, dog.
Yeah, I can't handle that kind of. If the world,
because you had that broke ass chair that was just sitting there.
Everything was just every 2 seconds
for no reason.
Do you get like that with like Call of Duty type games or?
No, I mean, I really don't play video games, bro.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you.
This is it, man. All I play are racing games, man. I
get too into them, man, and I don't want to put them down, so I try not to even plug them in.
Bro, I get so sick and it's probably a blessing. I get so sick when I play like first person shooter games.
But you could turn that down, you know.
Bro, it doesn't matter. I just get sick. I get sick watching home videos. If people show me home videos on a TV and they got bad camera, I get so sick. Like I get so sick.
Vertigo.
Oh, I get it's bad. Like world ending bad. You know what I mean? Like you know, one thing about me, I have a decent. I like to think I have a decent pain tolerance, or I used to. Right? I used to be a pro wrestler, so I used to get hit with shit. I used to do all this fun stuff. You know, me and Markos growing up, we used to get into fights and all this kind of stuff. So like, I had a pretty good pain tolerance my whole life. But like when I get sick, I am very quick to give up. I'm very much right away. Like I remember my appendix, I had appendicitis, and I remember telling the nurse, I was like, just put me down. And like she thought I meant put me to sleep. I was talking like I'm a dog, put me down. Like I was just like, I don't want to feel this way no more. You know what I mean? Like I was like, yo, it hurts so bad. Just do what you gotta do. Put me out. Like this is like, you know. So like I that's one thing that like when that happens to me, and that's probably a blessing because I'd probably play video games too much. I do play sports games, and I haven't played since I started WiseTake. I haven't played, which is about 3.5 years ago. But obviously with the quarantine, everything going down, my business being shut down, I've had to find other things to fulfill my time. Aside from hanging out with my friends and calling it a podcast. So I did pick it up. And you know me, I'm always looking for an opportunity. Maybe there's a way I can stream this shit. Maybe there's a way I can, you know, and I haven't gotten to that level yet because I haven't gotten into the game as much. It's just not as fun to me. I guess knowing that the real basketball is not here. You know, there's sports books, offshore sports books, not legal ones in the country, that are literally taking bets on simulated NBA games. Like you can go to NBA 2K20. And they set up a simulated game, and I'm not talking about like DraftKings or FanDuel's doing the free contests with those other companies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these offshore sports books are literally setting lines and taking straight up bets from people for simulated games, like going to Xbox.
Yeah, they got to make money, bro. God.
Crazy.
Bills got to get paid. Money got to be made.
Crazy, and that is just like imagine. I mean, I've been pretty bored, so I'm not judging. I'm not judging those who are out there, you know, doing what they got to do to keep their sanity. Because, you know, I mean, honestly, like if you guys didn't have a family, you'd probably be bored as shit. You know what I mean?
I'd be so bored, bro.
See, I'm used to this, like this isolation thing. I'm used to this. This is my comfort zone. This is welcome to my world type shit. But, you know, if I had like if I was used to having a house full of people like you guys, and then, you know, I don't know, I just feel like probably lose your mind if it was just you by yourself having to stay home just with nothing to do and shit.
Well, even if I was stuck in another like state or country, bro,
that would suck.
With no one that you know or languages you can't even speak.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. You know, they do that in prison sometimes. Solitary confinement. Do that sometimes.
Yeah.
How you doing on the game, Tom?
I'm in first. I'm just cruising around right now.
Tom just likes
3 laps left.
He just likes to win. Tom cheats though. Just when he fucks up, he hits the rewind button. When he fucks up, he hits the rewind button, and he'll redo a turn.
Not all the time. The time.
You know what? I did race him, and my shit was fucking up every 2 seconds. I just thought it was the chair.
It was the chair.
Oh, you're talking about at the VR place.
At the VR place, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that shit is wild. I couldn't do it anymore. Like I said, you know, it's funny because like I get sick from those type of video games, which is probably a good thing because I have a very addictive personality. When I get into stuff, I get into them a little too heavy. So yeah. I'm glad that like I can't get into those kind of games because I would be way too into them. And then the other thing that my body is like that with naturally is alcohol. Now obviously I'm drinking with you guys and I do drink occasionally, but you know how it is. I got to take my pill. I got to take it's a whole process for me. I'm allergic to alcohol. If I don't take my medicine before I drink it, then I get all red, itchy, and it's just a whole uncomfortable process. So for me, it's a process, right? I got to take this particular medication. I have to wait at least half an hour to an hour before I have my first drink. And then from there, I just got to kind of keep drinking and not let anything wear off. So I guess you could say it's like blessed and a curse kind of thing, right? Because it did suck when everybody's getting hammered drunk all the time. Like, yo, let's go out for a beer. And I'm like, no, dude. I got no fucking reason to go out for a beer. I think it tastes like shit. I don't enjoy it. Like, I'm allergic to it. I'm not going to go out for a beer. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, no, I'm just going to stay home and find something to do. And so I guess, like, that's two things that, like, if I was not allergic to, I'd probably just be sitting at home playing Call of Duty every single day and drinking beer. I think that's what I would be doing. You know? Am I the only one that has any, like, weird health things like that? Like, you guys don't have any, like, allergies or anything weird, right?
No, I mean, I'm lactose intolerant, but you just deal with that. Yeah. There's nothing for that, really.
Yeah, that sucks. It sucks. What about you? Nothing?
Oh, fucked up mentally, but other than that.
Well, I mean, come on. Isn't everybody a little fucked up mentally? You know, normal is just something people
If you're
pretend.
not, then I don't trust you.
That's bro. Normal is just something people pretend, man. Like, you see, this person's the most normal person in the world. Then you find out they have, like, you know, bone-crippling anxiety or, you know, whatever. And it's like, it's crazy to me that, like, even with the mental illness, like, conversations, like, I don't think people realize how thin that line really is. You know, from being, like, sane and insane, like, mentally stable and mentally unstable. That line is thin, man. And, you know, people can suck it up and say what they got to say in front of people. Same way we see people do it on cameras and all this other stuff. But, you know, smile on the street when they see you in a store, but you have no idea what's going on in their head and what kind of weird thing they might be into. And I'm not judging. I'm not saying that, like, you know. But, you know, you see what I'm saying. Everybody's
into their own fetishes,
everybody's got something. Everybody's got something they do that is at least weird to someone. It could be something as innocent as, you know, when I open my tuna can, I like to lick the fucking lid. I don't know, like something weird like that.
Oh, why'd you go there?
It's horrendous, right? It's horrendous. I went there, bro. I went there hard. But
you were a tuna can licker at one point, or?
No, bro. No, you know why? Because I'd be terrified to cut my tongue. You know, because I was that kid.
Yeah, I'm
fucking right. I'd open up some shit and accidentally cut myself, and I'd be terrified of that shit every time, man. Or you know what the worst is? It happened to your son recently. He was telling me about it, but you'd be in a kid taking out the trash, and there's like a piece of broken glass or something in the trash bag, and you don't realize it, and you're just out there doing your business, looking around, and then it hits you in the leg or something, and all of a sudden you look down and you just got blood everywhere. You're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Oh, man, that sucks. And it was shit like that. That's why I don't like those damn cans and all that kind of shit, man. That shit's happened to me too many times. Man, it happened to this whoop. You know, it almost took out my Achilles, man. Can't be fucking with that. But, I mean, oh, man. It's just, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens in the world. I'm curious to see how the world responds once things pass. And, like, you know, one thing I will say about all this is, like, if you want to find, like, negative information or negative reports, you don't have to look very far. It's very, very easy to find negative reports and negative attention and negative statements. It's a little more difficult to find motivating things. It's a little more difficult to find positive news. Things to make you feel good in these situations, especially because even our entertainment, even our sports and everything is gone. So one thing I'll say to anyone is, like, if there's one thing you can do, the very least you can do to help, anyone, whether it's your family, maybe like some of you might be like me, where my family doesn't, my you know, direct family doesn't live close to me, right? The same thing with you, Tom. Our family, our parents live in different states, etc. The very minimal thing you can do to help them is to say something positive, say something motivational, give somebody some good news, right? Something uplifting. Because, I mean, I could just pull up Twitter and scroll for days and just get lost in, like, this world, in this cloud of negativity, and I can tell you that X amount of people died here, X amount of people died, and that's all real shit. And I'm not saying you need to ignore that shit, but I do think every once in a while, man, like, at a time like this, I think everybody can use a little pick-me-up, and the things that we normally rely on for those pick-me-ups aren't always here. Like, they're not here for a lot of people right now. So there's one thing I will say. If you do want to help in any way, and some people help best they can, and for some people, helping is just kind of staying quarantined and staying at home and not doing what they got to do to not spread this virus or send the right message. But to spread some positivity a little bit. Say something uplifting to somebody. Send somebody a message. Just tell them, hey, man, stay strong. Keep your head up. You know what I mean? Like those little kind of things, man. They go a long way. You might not know. Like, we're all, as a country, we're all going through something, but at the same time, each individual person is dealing with their own individual struggle at the same time, right? Like, we're all dealing with this one cloud, but for some people, it's a real financial issue. There are some people where finances aren't an issue. They're just genuinely afraid of catching this virus because they're high risk. Or some people are worried about catching this virus and giving it to someone that they live with in their house who may be high risk. So, and those are just the very basics, man. There's some people, maybe there's people out there who are dealing with something that was supposed to get done, and now this has prolonged that. This has like messed that up for them, you know, like all kinds of crazy shit. And so, like I said, man, like it's not hard to look. Like you could ask a bunch of people. Everybody at this point's probably already got some kind of like fucked up story with coronavirus. It's like, you know, say something positive to people. Spread some kind of. I'm not talking about everybody's gotta be Mr. Rogers. Right? Everybody be yourself. You don't gotta be Mr. Rogers, pretend to be someone you're not. But it's nice, you know? You got a friend who you know is struggling right now? Send him a message, and you don't gotta try to give him advice. But you could simply say, keep your head up, stay strong. Right?
Yep.
Don't hurt to say that. As cliche as it gets, right? Tough times don't laugh, tough people do. Because that's just true. And it's not even, it's an expression, but it's just true.
Yeah, enjoy your family too, man. It's like, even though you're working from home, but you're still getting more time with your family than you normally would. And, you know, take the time to sit back and enjoy that. You know, especially your immediate family, you with the girls, me with, I got the older son, my daughter who's doing 12,000 miles an hour all day, every day, trying to keep up. So, man, you're an all-star, dude. I don't know if I could have 4 girls, bro. Like, that shit is insane.
Well, they grind, man. Coast got his things going on, and even for you, bro. Like you can't tell me that this Corona shit, quarantine shit, didn't put a wrench in your shit. You're trying to get shit rolling, get shit going here, and now all of a sudden, you know,
Mama's got her stuff going too.
Slows you up. And I was just gonna say, but it's a full-time grind. Even at your house, right? We got Lauren's. Lauren started her own little thing going because that's the modern day parents grinding, finding that grind. Everybody's got to hustle. You know what I mean? Whether you work for someone or not, like it's not enough. And that's one thing, right? Like growing up, I remember like I was a military brat, so when I was a kid, my mother stayed home until I was a certain age, till I was like, I don't know, 10, maybe 11, 12. And my father was enlisted in the army, so you know what it is, Tom. They don't make a lot, but they do not have to pay for housing. They don't have to pay for electric.
They provide, but you need to survive. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So he's able to make it work. In this day and age, bro, it is tough for to have parents where both of them can just where both of them aren't working. It is tough. Things are expensive. Opportunity is thin. Very, very tough to make something like that work. And it's but like. What I like about what your family is doing, Markos, is you're adapting. You're working. But at the same time, by working, you don't want to just work and everybody go to work because the kids need a parent at home. The kids need to be with their parents. You don't want to let any system or daycare, when they go to school, it's one thing. It's an education. But you want to be there raising your kids. And the same thing with Lauren. You guys want to be there raising your kids. And so how do you do that is you find alternative ways. You be an entrepreneur. You find hustles that enable you to set your own schedule, that enable you to utilize your time in the way that you wish to. And that's the adaptation, right?
You gotta always adapt, bro. I mean, that's what survival of the fittest is.
It is all about adapting.
Honestly, really and truly, it wasn't, when I kept seeing growing up, I kept seeing all these recessions, and time after time, people worried about their jobs that they've been at for 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, however amount of years they've been at. But the second times get a little bit hard money-wise for a company, they just make cuts.
That's it.
Or the second company decides they want to make cuts, they make cuts. So I knew from a real young age that I couldn't live like that. That wasn't what I wanted. That wasn't what I wanted for my family. I'm an only child, so I always knew I wanted a big family, you know what I mean? So I knew there was only one way to do that, and that was to grind. And whether that meant working and grinding on the side and working and having 3 businesses or having 5 businesses, whatever it may be, however I'm going to put food on the table, however I'm going to survive is what I needed to do. But it had to be in my hands. It couldn't be in someone else's hands. So it's... Some people need structure. It's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But people make fun of those, what they hate being called influencers. People make fun of the social media influencers and other influencers of different types, but they don't understand the amount of work that goes into making that photo, making that post, building that brand, building themselves, having the confidence of taking a picture when everybody else is walking around and shutting off the world to make their brand. You know what I mean? So it's you can YouTube videos are easy to watch until you got to make one yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're 100% right. It's everybody, and dude, I was one of those people, man. Like, I never got into the selfie thing. Like, we have a WiseTake Instagram that I don't know really how to use. I'm trying. I post screenshots, whatever I can do to use it as a marketing platform, but I don't know how to do it. I've just never been good. I've never been a photogenic person. Like, I'm just not good with the. So I was that guy when I saw somebody in real life. The first time that I ever saw somebody, like, Tom bought one as a joke once, right? He came home with a selfie stick as a joke once. Tom always making jokes. I saw somebody seriously using one for the first time. Like, it was years ago already. And at that time, I remember thinking, like, that guy looks like a giant dick. Like, I remember thinking that to myself. But you know what? I don't know who that guy is. He probably is a giant dick. But regardless, he had the right idea. Because that was something that Instagram was brewing, right? And that ended up blowing up like crazy. And even if it didn't at the time, it was going to. But the selfie is what made Instagram, like, gave it a market. Ooh, selfies? Do you need somewhere to put your fucking selfie? It's like, so, like, I was one of those guys. Made it a
word. Selfie was never a word, bro.
Oh, no, yeah. No, I mean, it was a weird, bro, come on. Like, in the MySpace days, people are taking pictures in the mirror. Like, you needed a mirror to take a picture of yourself. Guy, come on. Like, like, nobody ever thought to this. Let me just turn the camera around. Like,
Around, yeah, and let me take it of myself, yeah.
I'm just gonna, like, turn it this way.
You had to take the picture in the mirror and hope the flash didn't get in front of your face.
Well, it was because back in the day with the damn flip phones, you couldn't see what you were taking the picture of. You ended up taking 14 pictures before you got a decent one. It was too much work.
It's true.
I don't even think the cameras were 8 megapixels back then, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh, I look at some pictures like our boy Waleed's got all kinds of pictures of me back in the day. Obviously, it was a little bit different. We were all different when we were younger, but I wish the quality was better, though, because I wanted to see, like, some real thug shit. You know what I mean? But, the quality sucked, not going to lie. Looking at it. But it kind of goes with the vibe, I guess. But it makes me feel old. You ever look at those pictures? Like, at that time, that was modern day life. And then now, I look at that, I'm like, man, what the fuck kind of technology did we have back then? Like, cavemen. Like,
you ever look at them, those 2K memes when it's like LeBron James has been in the league so long that he's, like, show a picture of him on 2K from, like, his rookie year. And then it'll be a picture of him in 2K, like, now. Oh, and the graphics are just so night and day.
It's insane. It seems old, man.
Yeah, I'm playing Forza 7, and, like, when you drive from the inside of the car, it's pretty realistic. So.
It's a wild world we live in. But real quick, Markos, before we get out of here, man, I know that you and Lauren got this thing going on, the My Girl Gang, right? And you guys have some really, really awesome shirts, hoodie. Right? You got shirts, beanies. You guys got hoodies?
Yeah, we do have hoodies.
You got the hoodie? Yeah, that's right. Kim has one, right? She got a hoodie.
We're working on crop tops. We're working on tank tops.
All kinds of stuff. And the brand is you go ahead and elaborate a little bit.
The brand, it's My Girl Gang. So really, she's just trying to cater to moms and other mothers of I guess, armies of children like us.
Yeah, and, people going through the struggle, man. Raising a family is a struggle. It really is, man. It's like, that's job number one. I mean, you can't tell me, man. Markos, you got four beautiful, beautiful kids. Tom, you got a couple yourself. I got a dog and my hands are full. I'm bitching to you guys more than anything. I'm calling you guys. You guys don't even have time to bitch. You guys are so busy. I call you every 20 minutes. I give you a call, man. And Patches, let me tell you what Patches did today, man. I tell you, man. He took the
my daughter
shit.
Just did that 5 seconds ago. I didn't call you.
Yeah, I didn't bitch to you about it. But it really is a struggle, man. And it's the same thing. I respect the hustle. I really do. I respect those who go out and do. And like you said, bro, like you even with YouTube videos, it's one of them things where like you watch a YouTube video and you critique it and you say, oh man, this video sucks. You try to fucking make one. You know what I mean?
But you can't.
Yeah. It probably took this dude hours to make this video together, and like, you know, like, listen, man, you gotta be, people, like you said, you gotta have thick skin. People are gonna say shit. I mean, I got people commenting on my shit for years. I'm doing this for like 3 years now, so it's whatever. Like, you get used to it, you get over it. But at the same time, man, like, didn't somebody's mom ever teach them, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't fucking say it. You know what I mean?
Just keep your mouth shut.
Don't fucking say it. You know, a wise motherfucker told all of us that shit. Probably our moms, grandmoms, somebody. But they were wise. You know what I'm saying? That's some shit that was passed on for years. So go check out My Girl Gang. You can check it out on Instagram, and I'm sure you can get all the information from there at MyGirlGang_. So My Girl Gang _ if you are, you know, if you're the mommy in the struggle with the rest of the mommies, go out there, do the dirty, and
support the moms in the struggle.
That's it. Support the moms in the struggle. Be real about it.
Funniest thing, bro, is that company didn't even come about because we wanted to start a clothing line. It honestly just came about because we needed clothes for so many of our children that grow like weeds.
Yeah.
So I was trying to pay crazy rates on clothes, and they're just going through it, and you wash it 3 times and it's got holes in it because it's poor quality. So I was like, you know what? We'll just be the shirt. We'll be the brand that they wear.
That's it.
Now I know the wife's sweatshirt for the Mom Life brand is, oh my God, it's one of the best sweatshirts that she's ever got. Like I have to wash that thing every 3-4 days so she can just wear it again because she loves it.
We take quality very seriously. I always tell her, don't worry about the margins. Worry about your quality. It's not about making money. You know, that's not why we started the business. So don't worry about making money. The money will come. Just worry about your quality.
That's it.
We take huge pride in the quality that we use, the fabrics that we use.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and if you're a father right now, if you're a father and your wife is, you know, doing everything she got to do to take care of them kids, man, she is busting her ass, and you listen to this and you do not buy her one of these shirts, you're just a dick. You're just a major dick. Because
I'm stealing your idea, man. I'm starting dad life tomorrow.
You're not even a big hard dick. You're a big soft dick.
Soft.
Yeah.
Limp.
You can't get hard.
Shriveled. Off to the side. Probably the left. Social distancing makes it worse, I'm sure, in some way. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Markos, I appreciate you jumping on, man. Like I said, until sports come back, we're going to just kind of be doing our thing. So hopefully we have you on a few more. We got a couple other boys that I've reached out to that I think will be fun to bring on. So hopefully we can get some other people on, and in a mix, man. Yeah, they say not to mix, what is it? A family and business, but fuck it. You know, my business is my family and vice versa. So we're gonna have some fun, because why not? We're all fucking quarantined. We ain't going nowhere, and we shouldn't be going nowhere because it's fucking dangerous as shit out there. So with that said, for Markos, for our boy Tommy Shake and Bake, and myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.
Yes.